Coming up on Mountain News this morning, first responders reflect on the July 2022 flood and what sticks with them to this day. And Metro Public Health says the department was notified of a second measles case Monday. We've got the details.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee. Here on this Wednesday, July 30th, we are at 6 o'clock on the dot this morning. And Megan, it is a hot one today. Hot, humid, steamy, muggy, whatever other words. Let's think of synonyms for hot. That's what we need to do.
That'll be our task for the day.
That's our task. We'll come with you Thursday morning. We'll let you know all the synonyms we came up with.
But yeah, it's just going to be another hot day. There's nothing else to add on to the forecast for your Wednesday, as we're starting off already in those 70s all across Eastern Kentucky. Some folks are seeing some fog this morning, but as you head towards that London Corbin Airport, visibility is nice this morning. Now as we head to the afternoon, again, no surprise here, it's going to be hot. Low to mid 90s is that forecast high for the day. Feels like temperatures even hotter. And I mentioned that fog here is where we're seeing the most as we travel more towards the east. Pikeville and Logan, probably the densest fog in the region this morning, and nice and clear in terms of rain. Just looking at a little bit of some clouds rolling through. We do have a slight chance of showers and storms as we're heading into the afternoon. Amelia.
The man accused of stalking WNBA star Caitlin Clark pleaded guilty to stalking and harassment. 55-year-old Michael Lewis was arrested in January. Court documents show he sent Clark threats and sexually explicit images on social media. Lewis was sentenced after entering his plea. He's been in custody since his arrest, so he received credit for time served. He'll spend a little more than 18 months in prison. A Madison County man facing charges for reportedly stealing from a storage facility multiple times. Richmond police say 47-year-old Randall Algsby was seen on several surveillance photos from several different thefts at Osprey Storage, and that he identified himself in those photos. Algsby told police that he has a unit at the facility that he's been locked out of due to non-payment. He also says he went on a days-long bender of Xanax and doesn't remember doing them. Well, many places are well into recovery efforts after the historic flooding in 2022. First responders tell us they still remember some of the faces from within the waters. Chief John May and his crew with Wolfe County Search and Rescue recount some of the chilling sights they saw during their response. One face sticks with him forever. Vanessa Baker was the only person left unaccounted for. He says even a year later, they continued to search that area.
We covered 21 miles of the North Fork of the Kentucky River, plus Troublesome Creek, trying to locate Miss Baker for a family to get some closure. And I mean, you want to bring everyone home, but with a flood like that, sometimes it's just not possible.
Following that historic and deadly flooding, Governor Andy Beshear established the Eastern Kentucky Flood Relief Fund to support victims. It raised more than $13 million and covered funeral costs, property damage repairs, and new higher ground communities for Eastern Kentuckians. As we remember the third anniversary of the July 2022 flood, some folks are preparing to move into their new high ground homes. I caught up with Knott County flood survivor Letty Sturgill, who lost her home of nearly a decade in the flood, but continued on with grace and positivity as she now gets ready to move into her new home.
It was horrible. Yes, it was scary.
Flood survivor and Knott County native Letty Sturgill reflecting on the devastating July 2022 flood 3 years later that took her home and everything in it.
My landlady and her son, they came down in a big truck. One got on one side, one got on the other side. They put me in that truck and she took me home with her, and I spent the night there and come back to the house the next day. Lord of mercy, all I found was mud, house full of mud. It was awful.
The house she lived in for nearly 1 decade in a neighborhood she loved, unable to return to what was.
I really enjoyed living there, and it just tore me up. I wanted to go back there, but then I couldn't, couldn't go back. And I don't think I could ever live in there again because I would be afraid to lay down and go to sleep.
But now a glimmer of hope as the 87-year-old prepares to move into her new home at the high ground Chestnut Ridge community in Knott County.
But I hope I'll be happy up here. I believe I will be.
Knowing that the rain and a flood cannot touch her here.
I just can't wait to get in there and go to sleep and know there ain't no flood coming.
Joined by her granddaughter, Jasmine, as the two walk around the home, hand in hand, thinking of ways to spend peaceful days ahead.
And I can't wait to get up here. Yeah, I can't wait to get up here. I can't wait to sit on this porch and have me some coffee.
And Sturgill says she'll be able to move into her home by Thanksgiving and that she's excited to celebrate with her family by her side. Another flood survivor, Sharon Howard of Letcher County, lost her business and home in the 22 flood. Sharon says about 3 months ago, she moved into her brand new safe home. She's now able to reflect on what she experienced just 3 years ago.
I just thank God every day. I've got a home, a nice home. It's not as big as mine was, but it's fine for me. Who would have thought at this age I would have to relocate, wonder where I was going to live, if I was going to have a home, how I was going to make it, and they made it possible.
Sharon was gifted her home from Homes Incorporated. She says along with a partially furnished home, she's also gained new family through the organization. As parts of Tennessee and North Carolina are still recovering from Hurricane Helene, Washington is taking a step to cut red tape for communities hit hard by natural disasters. Senator Marsha Blackburn helped pass the Filing Relief for Natural Disasters Act. The bipartisan act allows the IRS to postpone tax deadlines for people affected by state-declared natural disasters. Previously, this was only for states with federal disaster declarations. A second measles case was confirmed in Louisville. Metro Public Health says the department was notified of the second case Monday. The second case is a known contact of the child who was first infected on July 15th. Officials say the person in the second case has been in quarantine since they became aware of their exposure. We are told there have been no new public exposures in the city. Meanwhile, Louisville is not the only city in Kentucky dealing with measles.
To date, there have been 14 cases of measles across the state. I'd like to reiterate that our 2 cases are not related to the outbreak in Fayette and Woodford County.
During their announcement of the first case on July 15th, health officials say the child traveled internationally to a country where there's an ongoing measles outbreak, and it is believed the child got infected during that trip. An 8.8 magnitude earthquake hit off Russia's coast last night, one of the strongest quakes ever recorded and the highest magnitude since 2011. The earthquake triggered a tsunami in the northern Pacific and warnings in Alaska, Hawaii, and other coastal areas. Officials warned that waves could reach up to 10 feet. From New York to Las Vegas, investigators are working to understand Monday's deadly office building shooting in Manhattan. Authorities say he had a history of mental health incidents and blame the NFL. Meanwhile, we're learning more about the 4 victims killed in the rampage as New York City residents gathered to mourn those killed. CBS News' Jared Hill has the latest.
Outside a New York City office building, a growing memorial as investigators try to figure out how Monday's deadly rampage unfolded. CBS News has obtained images of the suicide note found in the gunman's wallet. In it, he writes, "Football gave me CTE," the brain injury linked to repetitive head injuries suffered in sports, and appears to blame the NFL, writing, "The league knowingly concealed the dangers." Police identified the shooter as 27-year-old Shane Tamura. According to authorities, he drove 3 days from his home in Las Vegas to New York. He had a history of mental illness going back to at least 2022. That was the same year he obtained his concealed firearms permit. Sometime after, he allegedly called police saying he was suicidal. But according to Nevada law enforcement, suicidal ideations are not a reason to confiscate a permit. Monday, authorities say the man killed 4 people and then himself. Tuesday night, a vigil in their honor.
This is the time to stand up and say no more slaughter. by a weapon of mass destruction.
Earlier, the body of Didarul Islam, the 36-year-old police officer killed in the shooting, was transferred to a mosque in the Bronx. Unarmed security guard Alan Detienne and real estate executive Wesley LePatner were also killed. And on the 33rd floor of the building, police say the shooter took his final victim, 27-year-old Julia Hyman. But investigators say the target was NFL headquarters on a different floor. According to the NFL commissioner, one of their employees was seriously injured. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The New York City Medical Examiner's Office says they plan to analyze the shooter's brain as part of their autopsy, which we're told is standard procedure.
It's a clear start to your day. We're just seeing a little bit of that cloud cover, and for some folks have some fog, especially for more of our eastern counties. As we continue into the afternoon, we do have a slight chance for some scattered shower and storm activity, mainly for our Virginia counties and the Kentucky counties surrounding it. We'll head into temperatures where we're mainly sitting in those low 70s, and we'll warm into those low 90s into the afternoon. But for the most part, your forecast for the day will see partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. High temperatures around that 4 p.m. mark. And it's going to be hot, so make sure you're staying hydrated. It feels like temperatures in the upper 90s and low triple digits. Amelia.
Thanks so much for joining us on Mountain News this morning at 6:11. Soon, teachers, staff, and students will be readjusting to the school routine. And those in the classroom know germs are no stranger.
The